because social media thing is the end result of what happened to me overall. China doesn't look like anything else around the world. Coming from the West, man, what Maya was expecting to see kung fu people everywhere, dragons flying in this, that kind of thing. What happened at the end was, it's a totally different world, not even explainable. But then it exposes you. It makes you feel like you're suddenly in this place you don't know anything about, and you have to rediscover everything. When you start rediscovering things, you rediscover yourself as well. You restart your life in a way.
Welcome to the Geopats podcast, an audio experience to scratch your culture curiosity itch with many different expat lens themed shows. This episode is part of the Virtual Expats show, where we discuss how moving to different countries affects what we do online as expats or geopats. In this episode, I am pleased to welcome Yunus Emre Karasakul, a Turkish expat in Shanghai, China. Yunus has a similar virtual activities trajectory from many of our guests here on the Virtual Expats show, but where he differs significantly is he is one of the few expats I've met who uses their host country's social media more than their previous non-host country ones. Yunus is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor here in China. Yunus brings jiu-jitsu to a funny level in his current online video channel on the Chinese platform Douyin. Douyin's actually the original video platform that has an outside of China spin-off called TikTok. Since we did this interview, his video channel has taken off on Douyin with all of the content creators in this country of 1-point-something billion. That is impressive. Let's find out more about Yunus's virtual expats experience. Welcome to Virtual Expats. I'm not going to say that.
I'm very happy to be here. It's a very comfy setup. I really feel spoiled, but yeah.
All right, and it's Yunus, right?
Yes.
That's how you say it. Okay, because the spelling's very different than the Yunus name that I know.
To be honest, I don't expect anyone to say it correct. If you're not Turkish, it's almost impossible to say it correct.
How do you
it will sound weird.
Yeah.
The real pronunciation is Yunus.
Yeah, that would be hard.
Yeah, it's hard, and it's like, it kind of sounds weird for foreign languages. I understand.
Very far back.
Yes, but in Turkey, because Turkish language is like, you read everything as you write, exactly as you write. So it's kind of weird. So I don't mind. Yunus, Jonas, Jonathan. I heard all of them. So
Jonathan? How did they get Jonathan from Yunus?
It starts from Jonas, I think, because I think Jonas and Yunus are actually the same names.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just the pronunciation is different. But I heard really interesting. Yusuf, I heard a lot. Joseph, Yusuf, I heard a lot. And it gets worse. To be honest, because I'm a jiu-jitsu athlete, right?
Yeah.
One of the cultures or like maybe the habits in our sport is giving out nicknames. And those nicknames are never nice.
Right.
So hearing my name with the wrong pronunciation is like nothing to me.
It's like being home.
Yeah, exactly.
Not home, but
it's much
home.
better than the horrible jiu-jitsu nicknames. So, yeah.
Fair enough. What we do is we track someone's geographical movements from their home or passport country to wherever they have lived in the world. And with what they've done. No!
Why have you been here? Yunus?
Where have you been?
I noticed before the podcast, you've been to the toilet twice. And then you have been to this weird location. Why, Yunus?
More like cities, but yeah, okay.
So that was a drone that was following me today.
We do our thorough research. We do. Anyway, we track your geographical movements with your online presence, your online activities, those kinds of things. So what we need first is, where in the world have you lived?
Well, I've been in a few different locations in my life, but to be honest, not too many. I have some students that have lived in maybe multiple countries. Me, not really. I've come to China and I've just stuck here because maybe it might be the same story with many other people in China as well. I came here just for a year, man. I just got graduated from the university. I came in as I was thinking, like, you know what? Look, my major in Turkey is not bad, but I was still thinking maybe let's get a bit of extra edge, so maybe I can work overseas or something. So I just came in, wanted to learn some Chinese. I did that, doing some part-time work on the side as well. And then after the first year, I was like, maybe another year, I can learn some more. China is like a big country. And another year, and before I realized, I'm now married to a Chinese lady. I speak some Chinese, and when I go back to my own country, I feel like weird. I don't know, I get weirded out. So
let's get to the weirdness in a bit. So you're from Turkey, right?
Yes.
Where in Turkey?
Istanbul.
Oh, you're from Istanbul.
I'm from Istanbul. Just so you know, in Turkey, you don't really say where you're really from, as in like where you were born.
Right.
You tell your father's city or if you spend a lot of time there, maybe your mother city. But I was born in Istanbul, but not originally Istanbul family necessarily.
Right. Oh, so people say more of their family heritage place than...
Exactly. Oh. That's where you are from in Turkey.
I think that's similar to here, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Wow. And in the U.S., we move around so much that some people say the last major place they lived was not even the place they were born.
That's always very interesting to me. Like whenever I meet anyone from the U.S., and I ask them, hey, where are you from? They don't really tell me U.S. They tell me where the state they're from. That's interesting to me,
We're so statist.
It's interesting.
We are. Oh man, that's a whole other conversation. So you moved from Istanbul to Shanghai at first? Did you start in Shanghai?
I started in Beijing. I was there studying some Chinese for the first year, apart from the part-time jobs and everything. And I stayed for another year. Then I got a job offer from Shanghai. Then I moved to Shanghai. And then I've been in Shanghai since.
And what year did you move to Beijing?
It was 2008.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Okay, good. So I said perfect because there was already online stuff happening before 2008, so we can do a comparison from Turkey to China.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sweet. So, having said that, what was the first time you remember the internet being like a part of your daily life?
Oh, well...
That sounded like a negative O.
Yeah, that's because this is a very... for Turkish people, maybe, you know why? Because... I think in Turkey, we might have gotten the internet to our daily lives a bit later than US. But I think I was the last generation who got used to playing on the streets and then got introduced to internet. And I think for me, it might be a bit later even because my parents would worry about my studies and everything. So they didn't want to get a computer at home very fast. I think about the teenager times, like when I stopped playing on the streets and I got introduced to the internet. And then my brother, which is 9 years younger than me, he started living with the internet straight away. So that's why I was like, that conversation again is interesting times for us.
So what year would you say you started to use the internet regularly?
Exact year is very hard.
Nah, we're not about exact. Estimate.
Let's say if I was about maybe 13, 14 years old, and I'm not even sure that's correct, but I remember about the teenager ages, 2000 maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
you've got earlier or a bit later maybe.
Okay, so you've got about 7 or 8 years of using the internet in Turkey before you came to China.
Should be correct, yeah.
All right. So in Turkey, what were you doing online?
Wow.
And we're marked explicit, so
I was a teenager,
share what you want
to. And I suddenly get exposed to the internet, so there are definitely certain things.
Yeah.
But apart from the basic teenager stuff, you might also remember when we first got exposed to the internet, it was all this 56K, it was very slow. You couldn't really download anything, right?
Sure.
So for me, I think it was a lot of it was downloading music. That was like a big part of it. Chat channels were very famous back in the day, like those, how do you pronounce it, MIRC? Mirk, is it? That's what we used to call it.
MIRC. Is that like a chat room?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like full text, like, software. We used to use that a lot. I used to play games. I still like playing games. I used to do that a lot. I think that was maybe I spent the most time on while using the internet. And internet forums, that was a big thing as well. We have some forums that just like BBS's. And some of them are still very famous to this day.
Sorry. What's BBS?
BBS, I'm sorry. It's like, I think that's what mainly internet forum is. Like that's before Reddit. Before Reddit was very famous.
Yeah.
You have all these maybe boards, message boards.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, yeah.
BBS is like a term for, okay. Because MRC sounds like IRC, and I've had a lot of people talking about IRC and what's the other one? Q something.
I cannot remember.
I came online with Hotmail, so I skipped over a lot of the initial chat rooms. Okay. So how was MIRC and the forums, how were they different from each other?
Well, I think this MRIC thing, or Mirk, that's what we call it. Forgive me, I'm just going to say it easier.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That was only like, you can connect with people, you can talk with people. That was it.
Yeah.
I wasn't really interested in meeting new people and so on. And again, a lot of people inside were really weirdos too,
A lot has not changed online.
That hasn't changed at all. And then I would just go in there troll a lot, say weird things to people. We didn't know what we were doing. Suddenly you give a gun to a kid. What do you expect him to do? Just really stupid shit. And trying to meet up girls and stuff, it's probably, most of them were adults, really pervs and stuff. So really stupid stuff. But I think when I started using the message boards, that was a bit more different. That was a time, when we started to get, to understand internet more, people are more knowledgeable and everything. So we used to connect with people, We used to gather teams, maybe, for the games we play, or we used to use that to discuss a lot of things. I know because I think Google was not that much of a dominant thing back in the day, and even YouTube wasn't either. So that's where we learned a lot of stuff as well.
Right.
We go in and discuss and learn.
Were the message boards based on topics?
I think so. I think even the boards themselves were based on topics.
Yeah.
But then the boards themselves, definitely they would, subgroup into different things. Definitely you end up in the boards that you're more interested in. There were some really generic boards as well. But we used to not spend too much time there, I think, because I used to like games. I used to like sports. Yeah. That's the kind of boards I ended up in. We used to have these really different boards, even very famous to this day. Like, for example, we have one that's called Ekşi Sözlük. It's sour dictionary, something like that. But the thing about this board is it's supposed to be a dictionary, but not really. There are all these topics. Like, let's say, I see the focus right here. I don't know what it does. But anyways, somebody opens a topic about it, and people down below starts listing the descriptions as what that means to them. But they use this format to keep talking. But at the end, what happens is you're actually discussing certain things. So it grew up to be so big now, like all important topics maybe, or even less important ones. Even I have a topic that I guess people talk about you. For example, Yunus is kind of a person, he's like really cocky, we hate him, blah, blah. Or some other guy
Nobody
might come
says
in.
that.
The other guy come in, oh, he's a nice guy, he does sports.
There
blah,
we
blah.
go.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, of course, make it fun. But we have those sorts of really, creative ways to use boards as well in Turkey. Yeah.
Right. Are you really a topic? Did you see your name in there?
Oh, yeah, there is. I think, but there's only one or two descriptions below, not too many. Except the first years I have been in China, because I didn't know so many friends here. I used to still connect, and there was a really famous, or a few famous martial arts boards back in Turkey. I was a big part of them. We even I would say we impacted Turkish martial arts world a lot, but that's closed now. You cannot even find my messages there. They got deleted and everything, but definitely moved a lot from there. But I haven't really invested that much time in Turkish social media, to be honest. I did some. It grew up to a certain level. Then I realized I have to better spend my time, in China. So that's why I've been spending more of my time here. Yeah.
So you started martial arts in Turkey first?
Yeah, I did karate for a while, about the year 18. A year before that, I think I started doing some fitness. The way I started, it also was very funny as well. But I have done sports for almost all my life. Right. Because I don't know if I mentioned to you, but I keep talking about this in the other podcasts and everything. I was born kind of deformed. With my body, I feel like not anything huge to be disabled, but a lot of things I still deal with it today. I was even suspected autistic and stuff. So there were a lot of things, man. To kind of build myself up and to kind of deal with some other issues, my parents pushed me into sports. It started from swimming to deal with my water phobia kind of thing. And it just moved on from there. I never got really successful with anything I did due to the physical problems and everything. But what happened at the end was, it just became a part of my life. Yeah. Only, like I said, about 17 or 18, I started getting into more, I don't want to say hardcore, but maybe mainstream stuff, like fitness, and then it turned into martial arts, yeah.
Which martial art did you start with?
It was karate. Yeah. It was karate. Just straight jumped on it, because I would go to this fitness school, which was actually a karate school also. And I used to see these guys, that was very interesting to me. And then I noticed when I go back to my university, which was out of Istanbul, but very close, I noticed they give free classes to the university students. Yeah. I was like, let me try. And then it just became a lifestyle shortly after, yeah.
And what martial arts have you done since then? I know you do jiu-jitsu now, which I always struggle with saying.
Yes.
That is a freaking tough name.
Anything like a pajama hugging something. You can say anything you want. But, what I did after karate, I did some MMA. I did some Thai boxing. I tried a lot of things, man.
Like Muay Thai kind of thing?
Yeah, Thai boxing, Muay Thai. I did that for a while.
Yeah.
I would never say I assume any, how to say, proficiency in it. I just did it, Wow. Then I got into jiu-jitsu, and I realized when I first got into jiu-jitsu, of course, it was due to some of the videos and these tough guys beating everybody up, and that's what you think you want to be, like, oh man, but then you realize, man, I don't want to get injured, I don't want anybody hitting me, I just like the mental part of it. I like the challenge of it, and I like you go really hard with your friend and you're still friend, you get connected even more and nobody gets hurt. I like that feeling, so I just stuck with jiu-jitsu, pure jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a lot of what Evan says too about it. Right. He comes back looking like he just meditated. Like when he comes back from jiu-jitsu, yeah.
And here's the funny thing, right? For example, Evan, it's good we mention him here as well. If you meet this guy outside of jiu-jitsu, academy, I don't think you would necessarily think this guy fights or anything. He's just the nicest guy, well represented. He speaks very nicely and stuff. But then he does jiu-jitsu and he does well. He fights hard when he's in there. Mm-hmm. Maybe, just maybe, these two are related. Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Oh, for the listeners, sorry, Evan's my husband. We're not just bringing a random person into the, yeah. But yeah, and he shows me the pictures of, that people took while they were rolling is the right word. Right?
Yes.
While they were rolling. And the angry look on it and the intense look on his face. I'm like,
yes, it's intense.
That is completely the opposite of how he comes home. It's just seriously looks like he's meditating. So there's something good that happens in that intensity.
Definitely. I think there are two ways to look at this. Mm-hmm. First one is, like you said, there's a bit of intensity there. Mm-hmm. But then again, maybe some listeners never heard of jiu-jitsu before. When we say intensity, that's not the hateful intensity necessarily. Isn't like, I want to hurt this guy, but it's just like, he's so into it. He's trying his best. Yeah. Really. You see the intention of doing his best during his training. So that's what you see. And the second thing is, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, I think, this might sound weird, of course, but we have to admit this is a close contact sport, and you're constantly in physical contact with the people in there. Mm-hmm. And really weirdly enough, jiu-jitsu guys end up being very connected, even though they don't share anything, maybe every day. When they see each other, they're going to be very happy. They're going to be talking about really, I don't want to say intimate, but maybe personal things with each other, even though they don't spend that much time with each other. Yeah. And we sometimes joke, I have some friends, they maybe, just recently got married, or my students just recently got married. I recently got a girlfriend and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I tell them, man, you have been more intimate with me than your girlfriend. Be careful. We'll be closer, And then, but that's the truth. And if you look at it, there's actually scientific research about this. Like even animals, how they respond to touch. Yeah. And the little monkey, that's the real evil research, like little monkeys, they put in the barbed wires and with the towels and everything. Yeah. But it ends up touching and getting close with people is so important.
That's such a good point. And there is one of the downfalls of the internet and the interactions that you have on there is that it's lacking that. And there is this isolation problem globally. Yes. The more we get online, the more we kind of forget about offline sometimes, and we don't get the touch and the human interaction and just even the in-person face-to-face experience. So it's interesting. And jiu-jitsu has gotten really, really popular. Yes. About the same time that the internet's gotten really, really popular. I wonder if there's a correlation. Well, the isolation, the solution to the isolation is to roll.
Might be. Actually, you make a great point, because there's really a balance there. You see, I actually appreciate the side of internet is what, let's look at the good part of it. Of course, yeah. Let's say, I want to talk about certain topics that are not allowed me to speak about. Maybe,
no, we're marked explicit. You can
could be
say
politics, could be religion, could be anything, right? Yeah. And then you're not allowed to talk about this stuff, because if I talk about this to my friend, he's gonna get upset. I don't want him to get upset, but I have these opinions, so I can actually anonymously, or at least a bit more safely, I can express myself, which is a good thing. But then, like you said, you take away some of the connection, and then, for example, I'm quite active in social media, and I get commentaries or all kinds of stuff every day. And nobody has to like me 100%. And a lot of times I'm going to have people criticizing me even to my face, which I encourage people to do, which is perfect. And then let's say the criticism is It's just randomly, okay, man, you could do your hair like this. Oh, you know, that makes sense. What do you think I can do with it? And
really?
He explains to me. I'm just making up.
Okay.
Conversation. But I mean, by the way, no, I do have that too as well. You know, I mean, it's very nice to talk about everything with your friends. And then we discuss, okay. But then, the same guy, if he goes online, if he doesn't know me, that can come out really weird, man. Oh man, look at that loser. Oh, what a cringy something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, then it turns into abuse. And here's the really funny thing. Jordan Peterson talks about this. Mm-hmm. Apparently, even though we know the commentary online is fake and it's like not personal, we as people, like our minds take it as personal as like somebody said it to my face. Yeah. Apparently we cannot cope with it anyways. Yeah. And then it ends up endangering people, which is kind of weird. But then what you're going to do? Are you going to censor people? Are you going to just stop them? We don't want to do that too. So there's really a challenge of this, which is really interesting. Yeah.
It is really, really interesting. And it's, it's really hard. Because then I've heard people say, the only way they know how to deal with reviews is they just don't read them.
Yeah.
But then you miss the good stuff too. And you miss the people who say, I really want to work with you. I want to do a collaboration. I want to interview you. Like you miss those bits too.
Let me tell you this. I mean, I'm very active in Douyin. Douyin has, for me, it's a lot of fans. It's about how much? 350,000 something. But then, it doesn't
you have 350,000 fans on Douyin.
A bit more than that, I think. Yeah.
Oh, for the listeners outside of China, it's what, like a short
TikTok,
video
I think
site?
TikTok
TikTok
China.
Is what it's called outside of China. A short video website.
It's very short videos. It's hard to connect with people because the culture of it is just you look and you pass. You like it, you give a like and you pass. You don't really interact with people too much. So you don't really see that many commentaries. But even then, I do have a lot of commentaries there from time to time. Mm-hmm. And now, some people see it maybe a waste of time, but some people, of course, might find it stressful because even though Chinese people online, from what I've seen, is quite nice. They don't really get that aggressive or destructive with you. However, you see some weird stuff from time to time, man. Yeah. But if I don't look at it at all, then I miss out the good stuff because for me, one of the comments I get there a lot is, oh, you spend a lot of time answering to everything, which I do, yes. Mm-hmm. Because I realize, look, this social media thing, I have this because of I don't want to say fans, the followers. Well, if I don't have them, then my social media account means nothing. Well, then I should be appreciating and, I should be almost working for them in a way because that's the reason this exists.
Right. So why do you want to call them followers, not fans?
Yeah, because, I don't know. I think the fans thing might sometimes be misunderstood. The guy not necessarily have to be my fan to follow me.
Right.
He just might like what I do. He might like my product, but he might not like me as a person. He might not like, or I don't know. He might just not be a fan. He might just overall like me. Yeah. I just think being a fan because I'm fans of a lot of people, and I think that's a special kind of, word that I don't want to waste on everybody. If I'm a big fan. Well, when people say that to me, I take a lot of pride in it. Mm-hmm. And, I think that's a special word. So, I don't know.
I see what you're saying. No, I do. Yeah. I do follow a lot more people than I would say I'm a fan of. And I never thought of the difference before, but that's a really good point. Like, just thinking about podcasts, because it's where my brain goes these days. There are people, when I refresh my podcast feed, if a certain podcast comes out, I listen to it that day. Yeah. Like, I'll even write it down on my schedule to listen to it that day. Yes. And there's some, when they come out, I go, I'll eventually get to that. So I think that would be partially the difference.
Definitely, yeah. I think that's the very, honoring world even. Mm-hmm. And I don't even also like some of the, internet, how to say that? Famous people, I don't know, celebrities, internet celebrities, sorry. My English sometimes goes, it's not that good anyways, but, so, you using that word a bit too often, and almost being a bit too proud. Yeah. I want to keep reminding myself to be honest, and that's what I believe,
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we've skipped ahead quite a bit.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. It happens. Look, life is not linear, so I just try to make it so on the paper. So, you came to China, you came to Beijing in 2008. You studied Chinese for a year?
Yes.
Like only studied Chinese?
Not even a year, actually, even a bit less. To be honest, I wasn't even that serious about it because I was trying to get some spending money, pocket money. That's what we say at the end as well. I did learn some basics, let's put it that way, because as you know, Chinese language can get really hard and really advanced.
Yeah.
But very basic speaking, like streetwise Chinese is quite simple. It's like I, verb, something, your, where, you can create quite easy sentences like this. So I just got a good basic like that. It didn't really make me any Chinese expert or anything, but it gave me something good to start with. Yeah.
You're very modest. So when you moved from Turkey to China, how did your internet usage change?
Well, it changed in a way where I used to have a fiancé back in the day, so maybe 70% of the time I was trying to apologize and trying to explain why I couldn't make it on time to talk with her.
Yeah.
That was most of it for a short period. But other than that, I cannot really remember. I think Facebook was not blocked yet, or
2008. I think that was the year that it got blocked.
It was getting blocked or something like that, right? So I used to use it to connect with family first, and then family eventually gets used to you being away, then I started to use it to connect with Turkey some more, with the martial arts world or all the message boards I was in and stuff. And of course, a lot of it is wasting time watching videos, some films, and whatever it is.
So it sounds like you kept up with the stuff you were doing online in Turkey when you came to China.
Yes.
Did you do anything new on? Well, WeChat wasn't in existence yet.
Not much.
Did you get on any Chinese platforms or apps or anything?
Weibo. I was using Weibo a lot.
Where are you so soon? Wow.
Yeah. I used to, nothing really professional though. About those times, I didn't really understand how to take advantage of social media or how can I, be good at it.
Oh, so hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Weibo's like Twitter, right? Weibo,
I think
or is
so.
it
It's
similar?
Like Twitter, a bit of Twitter, a bit of Instagram, kind of,
Okay. Okay.
But I would say more heavily like Twitter, yeah.
Right. So what were you doing on Weibo? Like pictures, comments,
really random
like
stuff.
what?
Whatever I think is interesting, I used to put it there. It doesn't get any likes, and that's what I used to do. Mostly just wasting time.
And more importantly, what language were you writing in Chinese on Weibo?
I think mostly it was in English or horrible Chinese. So
I'm a specialty. My specialty is horrible Chinese.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Look, here's my go-to saying when people ask me if I can speak Chinese or not. It's like 我会很流利地说很差的中文 means I can very fluently speak horrible Chinese. So that
is way longer of a sentence than I can produce. I say, what do I say? Like, idian. I'm like, no, a little bit, just a little bit. That's it. And and even saying that opens up a bag.
Some people say Chinglish. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do.
I can grade my English so that you can understand me, but I can't necessarily speak Mandarin Chinese. Yeah. Okay. So Weibo and what else was there? There weren't really video sites or anything like that.
Youku was, I think, Youku and Tudo. Yeah. Tudo was very famous. Tudo is not existing.
I don't know that one. Well, QQ, is that still?
QQ was very famous. QQ was very famous. And, look, even those times, those were the first times I was meeting up my wife and my girlfriend back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember this very clearly. I asked her, hey, can you give me your QQ? She said, no, I don't use QQ. I was like, come on, you're Chinese and you don't have QQ? Come on, I'm a foreigner, I have QQ. And then she ended up giving it to me.
Yeah.
And then she laughed and she gave it to me. But me saying that means QQ was a big thing back in the day.
It was.
That's what she asked for first. That was WeChat.
Well, I remember we were in Nanjing in 2010, 2011, and QQ and Renren were the two big ones.
Renren, Renren, I never used Renren though. I know Chinese people used it. It was a Facebook of...
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But I never really used it. Yeah.
No, and I was teaching like 18, 19-year-olds, and they were really into it. But when I would talk to people my age, they'd be like, kind of thing. So I really think it was a very young person for that moment kind of.
Yeah, does it exist now? People use it still? I don't think so.
I hear it still exists, but I think, what's the equivalent? I think outside of China, like MySpace, it's kind of gotten that unpopular.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know if you were ever on MySpace.
Well, MySpace.
Wow, that was so long ago.
People still use it, yeah.
Yes! But again, very few.
Very few, right? I think Google Space
is MySpace even up there?
Google Space or Google Plus is getting ready to get closed down.
I thought it already got closed down.
Right?
Is it still? I don't know. I was going to start using it for calls and I heard it was closing down, so I didn't even look into it.
I just recently received an email that they sent
MySpace is still up. Oh my God,
crazy.
I thought it was down.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That might be like a cult-like thing, and it's just really
right?
specific people.
I wonder if those 3 people are still enjoying it.
Yeah. Or maybe some people maybe have so many content that maybe they just keep sharing it or something. Maybe.
Why wouldn't you move over to another platform though? I don't know. I don't know. Hey.
I mean, to be honest, I have, like I told you, I wasted a lot of time on Weibo, but when I say wasted, a lot of posts were really wasted. I don't know what I was doing. But on and all, because of that, I have about 4,000 posts today. How am I going to move it ever to somewhere else? What if somebody else did the MySpace, right?
My Twitter is my biggest one. And I just saw the other day how many I've done, and it was downright scary. I was like, have I really? You can request your actual, like, a file of all of your 10,000,
that's crazy.
Over 10,000 tweets. It's the one I've been on the longest.
I still never got into it. Maybe I should. Because I don't use Facebook anymore. I think Facebook really sucks, to be honest. Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
For a period, it was very useful. I was really thankful to them. I was praying to them, thank you so much. But now I think it's really horrible.
I was off of Facebook. I was on it for like 2 or 3 years, and then I went off it for a decade, and I went back on 2 months ago. Yeah. Just to some people kept telling me there are all these podcasting groups on there and all these groups. The groups are the good thing. You can just do groups and not do individual timeline stuff. And I was on it for a month and a half, and I was bored.
Same.
I was so bored.
Groups, I think the only reason I use it is I still have some Turkish friends there to kind of see what's going on. Sure. I don't like it because I don't even read the news. I want to see what's happening with the news from Facebook people, so I see their comments and everything. Yeah. And maybe, I don't know, I'm in the toilet, I'm bored. That's the only reason. Like, I don't really see any value in Facebook anymore. Yeah, no, I agree. I really thought I'd be on it for a little while just to keep up with those groups, but it's just, I don't really feel like, I feel like there's so many other places I can keep in touch with them. And another thing is, Facebook, I think, is a bit too aggressive when it comes to wanting money from your posts or sharing your posts. I mean, I have certain followers there. One of the reasons I never push it so hard is I share a post and it just doesn't even give it to 10 or 5% of the people who's following me. What? And then it's like, you have to get likes, blah, blah, but then you constantly see, how about you pay money and then we can push it to this many people on Facebook. Do you have any pages there? You have to pay to have the people that follow you view your content. Yes. Yeah. That's the epitome of ridiculous. Yeah, and I understand because I think most of the social media platforms do that at the moment. But Facebook and even I think Instagram is doing it a bit too aggressively. Well, what's the point of following someone if you can't see their stuff? Yeah, well, their point is, you know what, but you share it first if there's enough likes, blah, blah. But you know what, man, I think, I see the logic, but I think, because, for example, Instagram says, eventually all your followers will see your posts if they scroll down enough. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. I understand you want to balance it out and you want to make some money, but... Here's how to make money. Charge people like $1 a month and just give us who we follow. Exactly. Forget the algorithm. Just show me who I want to keep up with. I agree. Please, listeners, make this new honest social media. Just call it honest social media. Or just give us, I would appreciate this too. Like, HSM. Yeah. HSM. Somebody run with this, please. Somebody in the tech industry. It sounds kind of weird. HSM. There's like SM, but this is HSM. This is like hi. This is honest social media. Forget the algorithm. Just charge us. I'll pay to not see things I don't need to see. More on Yunus and his virtual life in a moment, but first, some podcasting information. A special thanks to Damon Castillo for letting us use songs from the Mess of Me album. The one we're using this month is called Sometime Guy. You can find all of his information, music, merchandise, and tour dates at damoncastillo.com. The new Geopats podcast newsletter is out now. In fact, it comes out on Tuesdays. To get it in your email inbox, go to stephfuccio.com, STEPHFUCCIO.com. If listening to podcasts makes you think about making your own, I can help you. You can get a free month of Podbean hosting, which is where I host the Geopats podcast, at podbean.com/virtual expats. And if you are in fact an expat, I am moving my beginning expat podcasters workshops from in-person to online. We're going to use Zoom cloud recording, and it's going to be very simple, very effective, and you're going to have a ton of resources. In fact, it feels more like a resource dump with some very streamlined chats on planning
and idea sharing and those kinds of things than it does a workshop. More information on that, you know where, stephfuccio.com. If you don't need to record a voice but do need a voice, I'm selling mine. If you or your company needs a voiceover talent, please contact me at voices.com/actors/Steph Fuccio. All of this information is in the show notes at geopats.podbean.com. What I'm not charging for are the promo spots in the Geopats podcast. About every 20 minutes, you'll hear a different announcement. These are free to content creators and people that have announcements related to the topics that we're talking about. In fact, the other 2 announcement spots in this particular episode with Eunice are China related. All right, let's get back to Eunice and his virtual expat story. At this point, because it's so frustrating.
Or at least give me the choice. Hey, you can tell me, hey, look, this is our normal system. You're not forced to pay the $1 or whatever a month.
Sure.
But if you do, we're going to just treat you like this. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm okay with that too.
So HSM could actually be a part of social, the like part of Twitter, part of Instagram, part of that. It could be an overlay or something. I don't know. I like creating tech in my head and I don't create it in real life.
Yeah, I just don't want to create a content, spend a lot of time, and at the end, I don't know if anybody can see it. Because again, I understand, okay, I have a post. And you want to show it to 10 people first. If it gets a lot of likes or whatever, and then it's going to move on from there. You choose a 10 person randomly, and you luckily choose the 10 guys maybe that day having a bad day or something.
Or just not looking at their phone,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it gets wasted. And Chinese social media is doing that now too. Weibo is doing that. Even Douyin recently started, they had a huge strike on a lot of like your followers. So.
Oh, fun fact. Did you ever get into live streaming in China?
Not yet. I tried to. I was going to do it on Douyin. What happened is they asked for Chinese ID and stuff. And then I kind of, I'm going to do it somewhere, somehow.
There's a really good movie that came out last year called The People's Republic of Desire, and he followed some people through the YY competition, live streaming competition. Is really, really interesting. It's a little gloomier than I would like, but it seems like a fair representation of those 2 hosts and their process through the competition.
Well, I like the concept of it. It's just, I haven't started doing it yet. I'm still getting my Douyin account like business verified, so they can give me more rights and everything.
Right.
But from time to time, I'm gonna go in and look at what other people are doing.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's really weird because first of all, a lot of them are like really interesting things. Like, I mean, the girls are eating food or something. I don't know. It's really weird to me, man. I mean, I understand. I respect everybody's,
And people are paying a lot of money to watch them eat food. I see them in restaurants. I see all of the multiple cameras that they have set up around them and them sitting alone and just eating. And I'm imagining people are throwing money at them online.
Yeah. And to be honest, another part of it is the fakery of it, like, I sometimes go to Starbucks, okay, and I'm occasionally going to see this lady. She does makeup and everything, and she goes to a corner in Starbucks, and she's going to put that, even the small light or whatever they put it on her face. She's just, interacting there. I don't know. I look at it and it just feels weird to me.
Yeah.
I have done videos. I still do videos to this day, and the one thing I want to keep doing is I want to keep it natural. I want to see if somebody's watching me shooting a video, there's something really, a connection there, really, like they see me trying to connect, making jokes, trying to be funny, acting natural.
Yeah.
I like that natural feeling. And when I see these people, I don't know, there's a lot of fakery going there, and it just pisses me off. I don't know.
I don't know. See, I keep thinking, okay, what is this similar to? Like, if you think of television and like scripted TV programs and those kinds of things, we know those are fake.
Yeah.
But I have the same reaction you do to live streams. I'm just kind of like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, because I mean,
like, what's the difference?
Clearly, the lady sits there for an hour and she doesn't speak. Or maybe very rare. And then it's all the girl is just changing tilting the head this side of it, then the other side of it, smiling a bit, and then people give money. I mean, okay, maybe you want to see some beautiful girl or something. I understand, man. You can do that too. It's just when it's heavily populated, and that's the only thing with live streaming, especially in China. I don't know. I would like to see content. That's what I mean.
I know. I agree with you. But not everybody wants the same kind of content.
Exactly. Yeah. Not everybody wants to see the same, for sure.
So it's interesting. So we've been talking about all of your how your social media habits, but we haven't been talking about your content. Can you tell the listeners what you make?
It started as jiu-jitsu mostly, because I try to connect with jiu-jitsu people first and foremost. And that's what I know better. But then, here's the thing, jiu-jitsu community, number one, is kind of not that big to begin with. But I like connecting with more people. So, I tried many different ideas. I did movie commentaries, not in like just fight scenes or something. I did like many different stuff. But to be honest, one thing people reacted so well was my funny videos. And some things got exploded, not only even in China. Like some of the funny content I've done has been purchased in the US by some media agencies that's connected to Fail Army and stuff. They put some there.
Fail
Army. They have very famous fail videos online.
What?
Yeah.
I'm looking this up right now.
I think, what was the media agency name? Joking Media, something like that. I forgot. But yeah, they purchased one of my funny videos. They put it in one of these, what's it called? Compilation videos. They just added in there.
They wouldn't put your name on there though?
No, it's just because a lot of short videos back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And I have one you can search though, but I don't use my real name.
Okay.
That's also on Facebook. There's something called Dumbass Martial Arts in Facebook. Okay? So what's going on there is, because martial arts is a funny thing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of fun things to do and it's real, but there are a lot of fake martial arts. So one day I just did a funny video and it was actually, a prep video for a competition I was going to join.
Right.
And I was waiting for the camera, how do you say that? Team to start shooting. And I get bored and I gave the camera to my students. I said, hey, let's shoot this.
Yeah.
And then somebody's hugging me around the waist and I do some funny dance videos and he falls down like, oh, I'm dying. And then somebody put this video and sent it to them.
Right.
And they just got famous and I got connected to the guy. I kept sending him other funny videos where I pretend this Eastern European guy, I'm this guy, and I teach really horrible martial arts movies.
Right.
And straight funny. But here's the funny thing. A lot of people take it seriously. And and they swear at me and stuff, but it makes it more famous. And even funnier, some of the guys were trying to defend the moves that's like even funnier to me.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So, like we have a saying in Turkey, like one crazy guy throws a stone into the well and four smart, wise guys couldn't take it out. It's something like that. People actually start arguing about these things. And it's crazy. I get my student and I do really stupid stuff. But the funny thing is, not really the people swearing at me and cannot see the joke, which is funny to me.
Right.
But the actual ones who are defending it. He's like, man, look, this is a good technique, but the guy, he's kind of bad. He doesn't know how to do it. Oh yeah. Come on, man. I cannot find it right now. I mean, we have to keep looking there, but the funny belly dancing video, when the guy just they hug my belly, my students, and I really kind of just twist my hips. And they fall down, and they keep trying to do that, and I keep doing that, and I walk around very serious. And then it got big. But this is never something I wanted to focus on.
Right.
So I don't really focus on foreign media.
Right.
I just did this and sent away when I was born.
Yeah.
Bored. But I also have some other videos on, for example, on Douyin. And I think more of my famous videos are funny videos. But because I want to give back to the community, I have, every now and then, I'm gonna go visit a tournament. People want to take photos that does jiu-jitsu. And it's really interesting, man. I mean, it doesn't have to be too many. For me, it's already special. Even if one person comes to me and says, Yunus, you know what? I've seen you going competing, doing this, man. It inspired me. And that's why I started jiu-jitsu. It's something so special,
Yeah.
So, that's why I just do my best to put on some good instructionals for free. I uploaded on websites. Just recently started on Bilibili, for example. Bilibili is a very famous website for young people. Mm-hmm. I've been using it for a month, but it's been growing up okay. It's been like at 3,000 viewers for now.
So what's the difference between Douyin and Bilibili?
Douyin is like just entertainment. Fast entertainment and very short attention span. Your videos are gonna get really big or just very small because the guys just like, they look at the video and like, it's good. Shit. Everything is so fast. It grows very fast or just it dies off very fast as well.
But Bilibili is also short videos, right?
Bilibili is like a bit longer.
Okay.
My videos over there, like, because one thing is I want to do my best, and if I do a technical introduction, I keep putting up more and more info, and it goes close to 10 minutes sometimes. But mostly it's about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I put some vlog stuff, but overall, like, it's more like YouTube. YouTube, but with more maybe younger, viewers. Maybe.
Okay, so UQ is similar to YouTube.
UQ is more like, UQ not really YouTube anymore.
Oh,
UQ is more like watching TV serials, movies, that kind of sort of thing. More now.
More longer.
Bilibili is much more like vlog or... Actually, to be honest, Bilibili would be a good fit for you. You should look into that. That's very nice. And if you can spend some time putting up
That's the thing, it's a setup. Yeah.
Instead, show the videos maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes with some subtitles. If you can do that as well, Bilibili is, because their followers are hardcore. They will come in, they're gonna put in comments, not necessarily always positive as well. I mean, it's mostly positive, but they're gonna put in suggestions, let me put it that. They're gonna put criticisms, which is awesome. And one thing I like about Bilibili as well, again, is in order to post there, you should pass a test. That's really interesting.
What?
Or in order to make posts, you have to pass a test.
What's the test?
They have this 120 questions test, and you have to pass it. First 60 questions is like, oh, do you think this post is offensive? If you get mad about this, what do you think? Or how would you respond? And these kind of things.
That's so good.
That's really interesting. I love it. And the second
is that for
part
viewers and posters, or just viewers
Even
and
if you want to be
creators?
posters, or for example, if you want to donate to people or you want to put in comments, you have to do that. But you can like the videos.
That's the first I've heard of any sort of screening for social media.
Nothing elitist, nothing like, oh, you have to be perfect. No. It's just very simple things.
Just being a good digital citizen.
Exactly. Like, do you think this pose is acceptable in the channel or not acceptable in the channel?
Yeah.
Would you report this or not? Those kind of things.
This is amazing.
It's real nice.
At the end of the questions for this podcast, I ask people about, like, what sort of education should we have with people, to be good digital citizens. And they actually, I didn't realize they had it.
And the second part of this is the first 60 questions. The second 60 questions is like, are you kind of, well connected with the thing you're trying to do?
Right.
Because it's going to ask you, okay, choose a few topics. Sports, games. So you choose these topics and it tests you on these.
Right.
These are a bit more maybe hard. But what they ask you is like, for example, if you choose sports, where was the last Olympics? Or those kind of things. And then, you know what? They give you enough time. You know what I mean? You can just go search online. Sure. To be honest, I just all answered A. This part.
And you passed, obviously.
Because here's the other thing. They don't need too high of a record from you as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's, I think, 60 points. And you don't
but at least it's something, because enough people would fall off just not even wanting to take the test.
Exactly.
So that's really good. And do you notice a difference in the feedback that you get on there versus Douyin?
100%.
Versus anywhere else?
100%.
That's
because
so cool.
It's like, for example, some of the bad comments I get in Douyin. Okay, let's compare the worst. Straight swearing at me, straight threats. It's like, hey, let's fight. I'm sorry. But even the threats that are like, let's fight, not like, I'm gonna kill or murder your family, not like in YouTube.
Right.
But it's like, let's fight. You think you're tough? Let's fight.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. In there, maybe the least, the worst comment is like, man, start adding some subtitles. Come on, add some subtitles. Or, man, come on, improve your Chinese.
Wow.
Which I take it quite positively, actually.
Yeah.
That helps me.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I should do that. Or like, oh man, I should start training my Chinese harder even.
Right.
And
that's really cool.
Very heavily, I would say overwhelmingly heavy part of the comments is either positive or positive criticism. So nice.
That's really
and they're into it. They're really into it.
Yeah. So they're more fans than followers, probably.
Exactly. And at least fans of the topics that you're talking about, let me tell you that. They take it serious.
That's really, really cool. Okay, now I'm super inspired.
Yes, like in Instagram, for example, sometimes when I share some stuff, they might not necessarily be a fan of the topic they're following. I just very recently received a message on Instagram, and it's me like kicking the bags, and I'm hoping to see some comments. Maybe I did bad or good, but the message I get is like, "Oh brother, can I see more of your soles? You have nice soles. Come on, bro."
Are they talking about feet or inside?
Soles.
Okay.
Yes. So here.
What does that mean? They want to see more of your soles?
You see, but over there, I don't get those kind of comments. I see like relate to the topic. Not weird,
Why do you think people write these ridiculous comments?
And he sends this, and I maybe hope that he knows he's a weirdo and he doesn't follow up with this. And they keep saying, hey, is that possible to get those photos? I had to block it.
Yeah.
I hate doing that. That's one of the things I hate the most. But
at least you can. I was blogging in 2003 and it was really hard to block people then. And so I got some weird stuff. I was outside of my home country, so I didn't care so much. But then somebody, same city I was in Taiwan, started to kind of stalk me. And I was like, oh shit. So I literally posted his phone number online and was like, can somebody just talk to him?
Yes.
I have no other recourse here. And there was nothing online. Now at least there's some stuff online to stop it before it gets that bad. But it's nice to see that there's even more layers.
Exactly. And people start to understand this kind of abuse is not really good. No. Again, I see it's these days is, like this PC, SJW, blah, blah. These things are getting discussed a lot. And I see two sides of the coin, definitely. That's why nobody likes me when it comes to arguments. Because this guy's going to be like, hey, this has to be like this. Yes. But I say you have to think, and then the other guy's gonna come in like, but how about this? Yeah, then I say, hey, hold on, you have to hold on as well because what he says is also correct. And then you're like, oh, you're a dick. Nobody likes you at the end. But to be honest, I find a lot of things are always circular. Okay, here's the thing. Why I love martial arts. I don't fight with anybody. I try to avoid it. Yeah. And I do believe if you're a nice person, if you have nice friends, if you don't hang out in weird locations, and if you try your best avoid conflict, and that does not mean you have to be you have to be a total, loser or something. I was going to say another word, but you don't have to be that guy. You can still have a strong character and still avoid conflict. And if you're that kind of guy, you're not going to need this.
Martial arts, from what I understand, is not about attacking, it's about defending, right?
That's one thing. But even then, my point is you might not even need to defend yourself if you, really take care. But it's about building a strong enough character that you can actually define yourself, find your thoughts, and then express yourself. Now, when it comes to these two arguments, it's always like this, right? There's A and there's B. A believes he's the absolute truth. B believes he's the absolute. But hold on. If you have been around so long and you still cannot find solve this conflict, you both definitely have some right parts and the wrong parts because you still cannot solve it and you think you're absolute truth. It always is circular, I think. Once you keep going too far, you end up being what you were fighting against. So you have to look at the things from two sides and you have to have a certain balance. Most of the times the problem exists because even in the politics, there's a left, there's a right. Right is like, oh, I can do this, and the left is like, no, you can't, you should stop talking about it. But then left is, without realizing, turning the fascists. And then the right is like, turning into something else. So, I really try to make it a habit. Yeah. Let's have a fair look at both sides and try to find the best solution. But you don't do that. Yeah, but which side are you fighting for? That's the most important thing. I know. You should choose a side and try to kill the other side. That's what it is.
It's crazy, and people think you're undecided or you're uneducated if you don't pick one of the sides. And it's like, but life isn't really either extreme. It's somewhere in between.
I think here's the thing, though. Yeah. I still believe most of the people are like this. Most of the people are smart enough. It's just they're not the most vocal.
Exactly. And the people that are that stubborn about being on those extremes are so loud.
Exactly. And then they end up affecting everybody else. Exactly. It's always the common people. Yeah, common people are always, getting, how to say that, like a wave, getting carried away to that side and this side. Whereas,
it's so true. And it's so easy to do that online because you don't see the full person. You just hear their words or read their words and you think, oh, that makes sense. Like the ridiculousness of some logic can seem very level-headed without knowing the full person it's coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, again, the evils of the internet, but then there's so much good. Let's talk about some good.
Yes,
So, wait, let's finish the timeline. So you moved to Beijing, and then you moved to Shanghai.
Yes.
Now, in 2019, are you still playing any of the games that you played in Turkey? Any of the, what'd you call it? Merc? The forums?
That's dead already.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
Are you doing anything you were doing in Turkey online now?
I don't really follow boards anymore because it's mostly about discussions and everything, but you know what? I find I can use my time more efficiently instead of discussing, actually doing things. And other people end up discussing about it now. It's a different level. I don't want to sound too cocky, but now even when we go online, people talk about, what about the tournaments and, who won? Well, we are doing those things now and people discuss about it. That's why I want to keep it at. And don't get me wrong, I try to follow them from time to time to see what people think about what we do. And I try to learn from it as well. Sometimes in the WeChat groups, instead of maybe message boards, I go to the WeChat groups that I like more, and we're going to discuss there. And we always see eye to eye, even sometimes people less experienced than me in the field I am, they give me some great ideas or they correct me in certain things, which I love. But maybe I spend a bit less time on that. Games are always there. Games, that's what I was saying, like the expressing yourself thing, right? Because before martial arts, it's always like, oh, you cannot do that. If you do that, you're gonna sound like this. You're gonna sound soft. You're gonna sound gay. You're gonna sound that. Well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with any of these things. No, exactly. You can be that and still have a strong character. Yeah. And then, I even playing games back in the day, man, if I play too many games, if I talk about it, you're gonna really be a loser. If I wear this t-shirt with the games on it, people are gonna think I'm a loser. But you know what? If you're a martial artist, you can do what the hell ever you want. I don't care. Nobody, like for example, I have my Ed Hardy shirt, which is, I'm sponsored.
Yeah, what does your shirt say?
Yeah, it's Ed Hardy. And Ed Hardy is one of the, in the world, if you wear it in the US, I think they're gonna think you're a total poser and loser or something like that.
Ed Hardy, H-A-R-D-Y?
Ed H-A-R-D-Y, correct. Ed Hardy is a very famous tattoo artist.
Oh, okay.
And then a lot of his designs, they have this very shady, not shiny. Like overly, look at me kind of designs.
Yeah.
But then, in US it turned into like, wanna be tough guy thing. And it's a bit pricey as well. So in US it has a very bad image. But the thing is, they have different designers for different areas. So I'm sponsored by Ed Hardy China. And even though I specifically choose the shinier ones still, they have a lot of nice designs.
Right.
And, but even then, I would never be able to wear something like this.
Yeah.
That will get some attention if I wasn't doing martial arts. But now I'm like, I can do it. And here's the funny thing. Even people I know is like, if you're a Yunus, you can do it. But I wouldn't do it. Because, I feel free. That break my chains. That's the thing about martial arts.
Because of confidence or because they know you can kick their ass?
I think there is a bit of, okay, let me tell you something. This is from I'm going to steal this from Jordan Peterson as well. But look, we are people, we are definitely advanced, and we are beyond our instincts, okay? Like, we do a lot of things, that are maybe genes call for, but, we don't do a lot of things that our genes call for. We go beyond these things. I understand. But at the same time, for example, even when it comes to male-to-male relationships, there's a part in our minds, male-to-male relationships a lot of times going to be very respectful to a certain level. Because at the end, subconsciously, we always have that it can turn into a fight.
Sure.
And we want to pretend it doesn't exist. We are all civilized and stuff, but it's there.
It's denial when we think that, yeah.
And by the way, I'm sorry, of course, I also understand, the gender is blah, blah. Just allow me to be like, very, male, female, black, white. I understand. I don't want to get into that discussion. Allow me for this once. But with the male and female relations, it gets more complicated because we don't have this kind of connection. So females can offend males more comfortably, or males can offend females more comfortably because blah, blah, blah. So I kind of think when you build up strong enough physically, it kind of builds respect. And the reason might be that subconsciously, this animal thing, like this guy's strong. I don't want to mess with this guy.
Yeah.
But not necessarily mean like, man, if I see him, he's going to kick my ass. Not necessarily like thuggish, but I think subconsciously we know when somebody has a strong character. You don't want to necessarily mess with this guy. People prey on weaker guys.
Right.
I teach this in self-defense courses as well. If you appear weak, you don't have to be strong, but if you appear weak, you're going to be preyed on.
Right.
That's why a lot of thieves are going to prey on this kind of thing. So I think, but now it comes to the, but then it's because you're strong physically. I don't necessarily think so, because maybe being physically strong turns on these things in my brain and makes me act more confident. And because if I wear this shirt and I walk around like I own it, then people don't judge you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But how did you build that confidence, or like the way those instincts come up? Maybe it's because of the training. So I don't know if it makes sense.
It does. Of course, it's not one or the other. It's all of them together. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's not denying there are still differences between the genders, and there is an animalistic dynamic to our existence. Yes. We're still primal in so many ways.
I think so.
Yeah, and denying that's silly.
I pulled it again too far from the question. I'm sorry, but I think playing games I still do. I now have tattoos of the games I used to play.
Yeah. Do you? Where?
Yeah, this is from Planescape Torment. It's an RPG game, and just so you know, I was the leader of the science and fiction club in my university. And this is kind of a shout out to Fallout game as well. I mean, I haven't been in US. In US, being part of the science and fiction club or anything related makes you kind of a nerd loser or something like that. Well, I was the leader of that club. I really just tell you that.
See, those are all the people that grew up to be interesting in my high school, though. Like those people that at the time people were like, oh, they're so geeky. Now geeks are cool. Like geeks are interesting. There's geeks are the people you want to talk to at the parties that you go to. Yeah.
But then now we have the. Now I can act like it, okay? that is posers. These posers, they don't really play games, but they put on those glasses. I know it's fake. Don't do that. It's ours.
Well, actually, that's the second time that you've brought up the idea of fakeness.
Yes.
How do we distinguish that online? How do we do that?
Yeah.
Because it's really hard. People can change a lot of things with technology.
Yes. Now it's time because I have been that part of the argument for 3 times. Let's look at the other side of it. Just people understand we try to be objective. Now, I also don't buy the argument. I was just being satirical just now.
Yeah.
I don't take the argument like, oh, you know what? If you wear that cap, you have to be that person. Like, for example, I have a cap that has the NY on it. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what baseball or anything related, but I just like that cap, you know? It's New York.
Just NY? It's not NY.
It's a baseball cap.
Yeah.
And then I think I even have their shirt.
Yankees, or is that?
I think it's New York. It might be Yankees. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not very knowledgeable.
I don't know either. But, you know.
But at least let me tell you this.
No, the Yankees one says Yankees on it.
Okay. It's N, and there's a Y in that N.
I have no idea.
And,
that's fine. It's fine. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. I have a cap and even clothing of it. And then whenever I wear it, it's like, you don't even know anything about the game, or you don't even support that team. Yeah,
it is the Yankees. Nice. It is the Yankees. Yeah. You were right. They have variety of different.
Yeah. And in China, their clothing is very famous too. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, the thing is, I don't buy the argument, oh, you have to be this, then you can get the enjoy. No. But I think there's a certain limit to certain things. Mm-hmm. If I start, take it as a kind of indicator of my character, if I start to think that this defines me, and I start to come up from with a character maybe, and I'm like, hey guys, you know, I start wearing this everywhere, and I start talking about the sports and everything. Well, you know what? In that case, maybe, I would appreciate if you know a little bit at least about what you're doing, what you're trying to represent. At least if you're representing it, and you clearly say, hey, I'm representing this, then maybe you better know about this a little bit, right? Because I oftentimes see these people, for example, I don't want to pull the argument there again, but they talk about like the genders, blah, blah, in the computer games, and you ask them, okay, you take this quite like a lifestyle. Thanks. How many games have you played? I don't necessarily play games. I just like criticizing them.
What?
You know, I don't like that.
No, that feels...
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Strange, yeah.
You know?
Well, it's interesting because I was just thinking, as you were saying all of that, you're a Turkish man who does a Brazilian-Japanese martial art in China.
Yeah.
That's an interesting, because there's a lot of talk in the PC circles now of appropriation.
Yeah.
Like, where is that line between what you can represent and what you can be into compared to, like, what's from your home culture?
Yeah, that's a nice question, actually. I think
Thank you.
To be honest, this is me, getting time.
I thought it was a genuine compliment.
No. I think that's a very nice question because, like you said, first of all, I'm from Turkey. I'm in China and teaching Chinese people something from Brazil and from Japan, and I don't even look like your stereotypical Turkish guy, blah, blah. But the thing is, I think at the end you have to choose. You know what I mean? You find yourself, what defines you, not because somebody told you. Okay, if you're coming from Turkey, you have a +1 point on representing something comes from Turkey as well, because you automatically know about certain things. I understand, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're bound to representing anything from Turkey. No.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're from Turkey, I would hope that you know something about Turkey, you know, to a certain level. about the history, about the,
It doesn't mean you're an expert on everything, though.
No, you don't have, no.
Yeah.
No. But I would appreciate, not necessarily things you should, but, appreciate that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the end, you have to find what defines you at the end. And again, I'm sorry, I'm advertising my martial art a lot, but it comes back to martial arts again. It gives you the power, it breaks the chains off of you, so you can pursue this much better.
Yeah.
I found out, like a lot of people after they started jiu-jitsu, they found the real passions in their life, maybe even outside the jiu-jitsu circle, but because they are strong enough now to pursue what they want to pursue. I don't know if it makes sense. So, that's the kind of thing. I think at the end you have to find it out yourself. I often see these really, depressing things like, but, life is pointless, the world's gonna end anyways, universe is gonna, yeah, but you know what? I mean, you're here, man. And you just try to find out what's good about yourself, or maybe take it like a challenge. Let's try to be like good at something in your life. I don't know.
There's so much good you can find in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I really like this. Recently I was listening to a podcast of a semi-famous, how do you say that, theater player? Is that actor?
Yeah.
Theater actor? Mm-hmm. And he talks about, like, they ask, but this guy always plays some depressing roles. Actually, he's a very positive guy.
Right.
He ends up dying early, and that's in the shows he plays.
Yeah.
But he's like a very positive and influencing guy. And he says, like, look, there's this famous story, and it might be, maybe you heard this before, but I'm horrible at explaining it probably. There's this guy, hanging off of a cliff, which is, it's like, there's a cliff and there's a twig, not the straw, out the cliff as well. So he's hanging off the branch. He's hanging off to this branch. Yeah. And then on the cliff, there's a lion who's waiting for him. If he comes up top, he's gonna eat him. And below, there's a snake. So if he just lets go, just below him, he's just too high, or there's an animal, I don't remember, sorry. Right. Let's say it's too high. So if he lets go of the branch, he's also gonna die. And then he's like, I'm done. He gets depressed and stuff. But then he realizes there's a little fruit just coming off the branch as well. Let's say it's a strawberry, and he notices it and he eats it, and it's like the most beautiful fruit he ever tasted, like most beautiful thing. He just gets the full pleasure of it, right? And then the guy says, just eat that fruit, don't start focused on, this. Yes, things are going to end. Yes, so, but you know what? There's this good things. Let's just, enjoy it.
Exactly.
And if you can do that, it's going to be much more, enjoyable.
Exactly. It's all about perspective. You can, at any given time, granted there's some times where life is legitimately shitty and there's no good way about it. But most of the time, it can be how you're looking at things.
Exactly. And here's the other part of it. It might be a dodgy movie, because it's very mainstream. Rocky movies, Sylvester Stallone, it's mainstream, blah, blah. A lot of times
that doesn't mean it's bad.
But there's one quote in it. I mean, I would expect to see this quote maybe from something much deeper that I've seen in the Rocky movie. He says, the life is not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Life is not a beautiful place, he says. And then, that's so nice. That's true.
Who says that in the movie?
Rocky Balboa says it to his son. Because his son is just so underwhelmed, he's angry with his dad because everybody has these great expectations of his son. He gets overwhelmed, blah, blah, but that's what he says to his son. And then they end up having a great relationship in the end, blah, blah, blah. But that's the truth. Everybody thinks like, I get so depressed, I have this problem, I have that problem. And they look at other examples and they think like they have this problem. No, we all have these problems. We all have crazy things going on with our lives, but we just keep moving forward.
Exactly.
That's how it is. People look at me and, oh man, so I wish you were strong as you. Number one, you don't know anything. I'm not strong at all. Okay, maybe compared to a guy who never trains, maybe. But the thing is, every time I compete, I'm one of the weaker guys in my division against people I'm competing against. And then, man, you don't know how I was born. I was wearing special shoes and stuff, so I don't look deformed,
Right.
And even now, I have still some problems. Like, I don't want to go into detail one by one, but that's how I built up. Like, in 15 years, I was able to build up something that holds up, And then people think like, oh man, the end result. No, you don't know the challenges I've been through.
Yeah.
And just like all of us, we all have these things, but you're so focused on what other people have. And I have a small issue with my life, so life sucks. No. It's about That's when we see if you're really strong and you deserve anything good or not. Right?
One of my dearest friends has this theory. Like, she had some health issues when she was younger, and she's like, anything can happen now. Yes. She's like, because I grew up expecting things to fall apart constantly. She's like, she grew up, you know, kind of learning how to deal with constant chronic pain and different issues and stuff like that. And she's like, anything. She says when she meets people who don't have health problems until they're older, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't handle them because they just completely fall apart in 2 seconds.
Exactly.
One tiny problem, and they're like, I don't know what to do with my life. And she's like, well, you just keep going and you just learn to work around it. Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe because I do martial arts, I'm a bit rougher than that. Sometimes I'm like, do you have a problem? Good. That's going to make you stronger. You know,
it's about time.
Man up. Yeah, man up and take it like a man and just keep moving forward, you know? So, and that's how it is. Like, people, again, sometimes I say, oh, you know, my friend died and stuff. Yes, that's going to happen, man. Yeah. Just in 2 years, my grandma, my grandfather, another grandfather, my friend, my uncle, got cancer and died. They were all cancer, by the way, except 1 or 2, I think. And my mom and dad also got cancer, kind of beat them after surgeries and stuff. What am I going to do now?
Right.
Should I cry? Or no? Look, Yunus, this is a reminder. Spend more time with your loved ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You better start focusing on them now because nothing is
really
permanent.
Those are true words from Yunus. Nothing is permanent. Appreciate where you are and what you're doing. I cannot think of anything more accurately mindful than that, whether you're on or offline. Another wise person I know, Brendan Davis of the How China Works podcast, and If I Knew You Better, has some words about China that has a podcast about China that is also incredibly wise. Let's have a listen to what he has to say.
Hi there, I'm Brendan Davis coming to you from Beijing, and I'm the co-host with Ying Li of the podcast How China Works. Since you like Steph's show, we thought you might like our show too, so I want to tell you about it really fast. Our first season was designed as a crash course in China for foreigners and to help a young Chinese audience who's going global. Those shows are heavily researched to give insights into the most critical situations you'll need to understand regardless of whether you're coming or going from China. This year we switched gears to an interview format. We talked to leading China players from around the world, people who are actively engaged in shaping, changing, or navigating this fast-changing dynamic. We've had some truly amazing guests join us, so we would be honored if you would join us to check us out online or at one of our live events we're doing around Beijing now. You can find How China Works in all podcatchers or visit us online at howchinaworkspodcast.com to learn more.
A few more time-sensitive things about Brendan Davis and How China Works. His WeChat Moments, which is the equivalent of like a Facebook post, Facebook stream. I'm not even sure what it's called anymore. It says, our next How China Works live podcast event is with Jesse Appel on September 17th at the U.S. China Comedy Center in Beijing. So if you're in Beijing, he wants you to tell friends and join them for a fun and funny night. So it's from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Tuesday, September 17th. Again, the U.S. China Comedy Center. It is 60 kwai in advance, 80 at the door. So that is some timely information. The podcast, however, How China Works, is not time sensitive. You can listen to it anytime. That is the beauty of podcasts. And that's also true of Yunus's Douyin videos and also his Instagram videos. I want those of you living outside of China to know that you can also view some of Yunus's videos not just on his Douyin account if you download the app, but you can also watch some of them on Instagram. He does put them there, and he does put them on YouTube. I'll put the links down in the show notes or at geopats.podbean.com. Content. I am obsessed with content, and you're listening to this, so in some way, shape, or form, I think you might be too. Let's get back to that content, and more importantly, the person behind the content we're investigating today, Yunus. Do you think that the internet has helped or hurt us more?
A combination of two things, because there's a nicer part of it as well. Mm-hmm. We get to know about people again, easier. We get, influence with people easier because we have the chance now. We end up doing a lot of more donations and everything, maybe again, because we hear about these things and it's easier to do these things. You don't have to necessarily go to a bank and apply for certain things. I can easily just go online, just a few clicks, I can donate to people.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing, man. Look, there's the two sides, again, to everything, okay? I don't buy these photos, people are zombies now, they look at the phones. Yeah, but what did they do when they do that?
Exactly.
They're reading books. They're doing useful things.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think? Here's, you know, if you remember, it's like, oh, because I transitioned from non-internet to internet. I was the last generation did that in Turkey. What do you think people were doing before internet? Do you think they were all socializing?
Yes.
They were all like, hey man, how are you doing? Let's socialize. Let's talk. Let's do something useful. I'm in the subway.
Yeah.
Let me try to find out these atomic particles.
Right?
No. They would just sit down there and do nothing.
There's a beautiful photo of like, I think it's 1950s or 1960s, New York City Metro, and you just see people with their newspapers up.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
it's like, no, guys, we didn't talk to each other on the subway before phones.
Yeah. And let me give you a secret. They weren't even reading the newspapers, okay? They were reading the sports pages. Yeah. They were reading the parts where there's a beautiful lady or handsome looking guy and stuff. Yeah. They wouldn't even read the long articles. So that's what it happened.
Exactly.
That's what it was. But now we have the phones. I'm actually connecting with people now. Yes. But there's the other part of it. And I might sometimes get addicted to this. I can get more and more disconnected. But life is changing. It's about us analyzing the good and parts of the bad parts of this. And because we're in the transition phase, yes, we make a lot of mistakes. A lot of kids get addicted to this. But I think it's the transition.
How or when do we get out of this transition phase?
Yeah. First of all, in order to, like everything in our life, if I'm going to solve a problem, I have to understand I have a problem first. And I have to analyze it. So we have to first be able to analyze this thing that we're talking about, right?
Do you think that's done country by country, or do you think as a whole we'll kind of realize this?
I think definitely it differs from country to country because not everybody is as well integrated as each other, right? Like, for example, if I talk about US changes just too fast in everything. So everything happens too fast and maybe too fast and the first maybe over there. And then it reflects the other countries, not always the same speed. Not necessarily about the technological level, but just some countries take it faster and slower. Or some people take it totally different way, like China. We talk about censorship, blah, blah, but at the same time, China is ahead in many other countries.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. As far as the technological part, I feel like China's leading the way in some ways. I mean, look at digital payments.
Yes.
It's just
beggars have codes now. It's QR codes that you can scan and give them money.
So it's very interesting. It'd be interesting to see, like, if we could look ahead 20 or 30 years.
Yes. It's going to be a totally different world, and I think something's going to stop here. That's the scary thing, though. Because we have internet now, we're trying to understand and kind of adjust. By 30 years, it's going to be totally different. Maybe it's going to be, a lot of things are going to be automatic. I'm going to be doing this with some other, I don't know, cybernetics or something. Who knows?
I know, but you know what? When I was a kid, we always talked about flying cars, and I'm still waiting.
Yes.
So I feel like
but at the same time, here's the funny thing. I think the concept is kind of there, but not the way we picture. Like, for example, how can we tell we're not cyborgs now, right? If you listen to Elon Musk, we are on the first, we are half cyborg guys now. Well, we are connecting with cell phones. We kind of get our information by cell phones. Like, yes, cell phone is not implemented in my body, but if you think about it, we are quite connected with the cell phone, and it's the leading, tools of our lives. And I can know what your thoughts in a way by cell phone. Like, you know what I mean, communicating in any other way. Right. It just needs to go a step. Maybe, it's not going to be flying cars, but we have so advanced technology. Flying everywhere is much easier than before. Yeah. When I was a kid, flying was a luxury. No, I can just fly anywhere I want. I can just get it booked. Well, not necessarily flying cars, but again, so it's really developing in a scary way, not just maybe science fiction movie like,
I don't know if it's just scary. It depends on which part of it at what point.
When I say scary, maybe I choose the wrong word, man. I mean, maybe let's choose another word, but it's just maybe exciting in a way. It's like breathtaking.
Yeah, like what will it be? Can we really predict right now what will happen in the next 20 or 30 years?
I think that'd be kind of, you can guess again, but not necessarily, right? Suddenly something happens. Even a few years ago, just the touch phones. Oh yeah, it was crazy for me. Yeah.
I mean, just think about from when you started using the internet to now, and how much has changed. Yeah. And how much you can do online now. Yeah. I mean, I grew up way before the internet, and I'm just floored. Like from going to libraries as a kid to just taking my phone out of my pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's just crazy, like good crazy to me. I'm like, I can't believe how much stuff I can just find.
Yes.
With 2 seconds of
exactly.
searching. It's
but
just,
for example, as a person who used to go to libraries,
mm-hmm.
now we have a lot of fake knowledge as well. A lot of people go out, they think they know something, they have enough to make claims on certain things,
mm-hmm.
but they don't know actually. Because we don't have the habit of actually going to the library and studying some things into depth.
True, and I would argue with that, that when I was growing up, a lot of the stuff in the libraries was very, censored is the wrong word, but very massaged information that the people that published it wanted us to know about stuff.
So, certainly. But now I think it's even in a worse level right now though, because if you think about Wikipedia, anybody can write it. Something there. Maybe with the books, again, like you said, some people might try to manage how they want you to think about certain things. So you have to have, again, habit of reading multiple sources.
Right.
And kind of have the final judgment. But with the Wikipedia, you just go to Wikipedia and maybe some guy, maybe Bob next door who doesn't know about certain things.
There's been some interesting studies about Wikipedia and how fast bad information is changed by other people. And it's really, really promising on how quickly false information is changed. Because anybody can go in and read it and go, that's bullshit, and change it back to quote-unquote real information.
But then again, here's the thing. I think there's still levels to that. Because at the end, people, this is the right knowledge. That's people think it's not wrong, but then you ask a historian about it, and the real historian reads this and says, "What the fuck is this?" I'm sorry, but what is this?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true. It's like what is in so many different areas. What is right and what is wrong? What is true? What is false? These are all very slippery things. So it's all.
I guess it's a part of the change. Because we cannot rely on all these historians forever. We have to have the,
Do you see these clouds?
It's crazy, right?
Listeners, it's 1:40 in the afternoon, and it has just absolutely gotten super dark outside.
For the listeners as well, I was coming in by my t-shirt. It was so hot. It was so sunny.
Yeah.
I was sweating.
Yeah.
And now it's all dark.
It's so crazy. It's like as we're talking about the gloom and doom of the future, the sky is replicating
and
our
we're going to get punished. It's Zeus is going to punish us now. You shouldn't have talked too much about the technology.
You make it so.
It's on you. It's on these two people doing this podcast.
I feel so responsible. Sorry, listeners. Actually, they probably won't even get this because we'll be gone.
Okay, internet's a sin. Sorry, Zeus.
Let's come back to your specific projects. Yes. When you started doing your videos, who did you think you would be talking to, or who did you think would be viewing them?
Oh, well, very honestly, I was hoping I'd get maybe 10, 20 people who actually watches these things and give me their ideas. So I have a small circle of people who actually appreciate this. So I have a kind of small internet friend circle. That's what I thought. And it grew much bigger than that, man. Yeah. Oh boy, I was wrong. Especially, here's the funny thing though. I started putting out some good information and, I was hoping it would get appreciated, but it never grew, right? But then I started putting on funny things and just blew up. Yeah. And another funny part to this is I was hoping my jiu-jitsu videos would bring in more jiu-jitsu people into the sport, but no. It's actually the funny videos that I did, even actually sometimes making fun of jiu-jitsu, brought in more people to jiu-jitsu, and we're getting more inquiries or people coming into my academy. Man, Yunus, I love your videos, man. I want to try this sport. Again, so it really grew up to something I never expected it to grow into,
See, that's so funny because I'm starting to do beginning podcast advising, I guess you could say, or helping or mentoring or whatever, which I think is really funny because I'm still learning so much already. I'm still learning so much still. But people keep saying, I want to do this, and they're stuck in, I want to do that. And I'm like, the first 6 months at least, be really flexible because you don't know what your creation wants to be yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it sounds like that's also true for videos, and
you probably don't know much about yourself as well. Because here's the thing. Well, not that much for West maybe, but when Chinese people look at me, okay, this hairy, beardy guy with tattoos and stuff, they expect me to be maybe rough and tough, and then they say, hey, this guy does funny things. How come? And then, well, I wouldn't expect it to grow this much as well. So you're going to discover some interesting things about yourself as well.
Okay, so So your audience is not who you expected, and it grew. It sounds like it grew bigger than you expected.
Yes, also.
So who are they? Who, like, demographically, if you were to say, like, what age group, what gender, what interests?
Demographically speaking, I think it's everywhere. Because especially for Douyin, it's everywhere. Mm-hmm. For Bilibili, it's everywhere. Because there are people...
everywhere in China?
Everywhere in China.
Okay,
China.
Gotcha.
Purely focus on China.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, China is so big. When we think about it, I'm thinking about regions, certain regions.
Yeah.
But for the age groups, I would say, for example, in Douyin, it goes, I think it's more the younger circle, but then occasionally I get a lot of comments from old people. Mm-hmm. I get comments from kids. Actually, a lot of hardcore followers are actual kids, like 10, 11 years old sometimes.
I've heard you have some videos with some very small kids, too.
Like, I used to have some jujitsu ones, but not necessarily interacting with them, not necessarily.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But, yeah, for sure. And so what I mean is really a wide range of people now in Douyin. In Bilibili, though, I would assume from older teenagers to maybe 30, 40-ish, in that age group, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Why do you think there's such a difference from one platform to the other?
Because I think Douyin is too big, so it starts slowly spreading to more and more people. Gotcha.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's since you started making the videos, do you feel like there's a pressure to keep making them?
Well, not necessarily. Well, it's a combination of two things. Number one, I kind of enjoy it, so I feel like I'm just going to keep doing it because I enjoy doing it. Mm-hmm. But again, from time to time, for example, maybe I feel like creating a certain kind of content. I don't feel like creating maybe, I don't know, jujutsu stuff, or I don't feel like creating the funny stuff. It's just not in there. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, hey, hold on, you haven't been sharing a lot of things over there. You kind of owe it to these guys. Let's think about it. So maybe a bit of motivation, not necessarily pressure. Mm-hmm. Because I think if you're really feeling pressure, you're probably not enjoying it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so, it's like you have to do it instead of you want to do it.
Yeah. So, definitely. But that does not maybe because I don't want to discourage anybody. It might be that you haven't found out what you want to create. You know what I mean? There might be certain things maybe you never thought about it. You have been doing a lot of fitness stuff, but actually your passion is in cooking. Mm-hmm. Why not try that? And then you can relate it to fitness. You can make it healthy. And then you suddenly realize, hey, I enjoy doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot. I haven't actually used Douyin very much.
You have to use your phone.
You do have to use your phone.
You have to use your phone. But I can, if you want, I can show you some stuff.
No. I'm just wondering for the listeners. We have about half of the listeners are in the U.S. at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering. They would have to download the app in order to...
Yes, and even then they might have a hard time opening the videos. It might be very slow. It's not going to be blocked, but it's going to be very slow.
Okay.
In reverse, though, it's going to be blocked. Like, we cannot actually watch TikTok without a VPN.
Right.
Not that I know anything about it. I don't use it. I don't know what a VPN is, but I heard.
Well, they would be in the U.S. though, so they wouldn't need such a device.
Okay. Just in case.
So I'm just trying to think if they wanted to see your videos, they would go to TikTok, right?
They need to go to Douyin. But if they want,
it's different than TikTok. Okay.
If they're lazy and they're like, man, I don't want to really look in Douyin. However, I want to see what it is like. Then you can just open the TikTok.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. When they go to TikTok, apparently I have it on my phone. I didn't realize that. Mm-hmm. What would they... I don't want app info. I want to go into the app. What would they search for? Would they search for your name, or do you have a different...
Yeah, I think there are a lot of Yunuses around in China as well.
Really?
Yes, because it might be two reasons. Number one, there are Turkish people for sure, and Douyin has huge usage. It's crazy, millions.
See, it's asking me users, sounds, hashtags.
Yes, this is TikTok.
Yeah,
I don't have TikTok.
Oh,
yeah.
But it's not exactly the same thing. So you understand?
Not the same thing. It's the same sort of app. It's almost the same app. Even their logos are very similar.
Right.
And they Chinese people apparently one by one straight copied it or something.
So it's like Shimalaya and Himalaya.
Maybe it's like Facebook and Renren.
Oh, okay. So they are two different platforms with very similar stuff.
Definitely.
Okay, so Douyin's like Douyin, is that right?
Douyin, correct.
Yeah, that's not coming up either. But I'm looking in the Play Store.
Yeah.
Have you ever read AI Superpower by Kai-Fu Lee?
Not.
He's from Taiwan, and he studied partially in the US, partially in Asia, and he worked for big tech companies.
Yes.
And so he goes through the history of technology from a China perspective, and he talks about the Chinese internet and the international internet.
Okay.
And it's really interesting, and there's terminology that he uses that's very, very helpful for talking about the differences between the two and the history of the two and why it's going to continue being two separate things.
Okay, that's interesting, yeah.
And this is what I think of when I can't find an app in the Google Play Store. I have to go to...
anything, if it's an Android phone, they should have a store app already in it. So is it an Android phone?
Yeah.
It should have an app in it already that helps you download a lot of the apps.
Yeah. That's the Google Play Store, but it doesn't have...
No, that should be a Chinese... Oh, hold on. You got your phone in
US?
Hong
Kong.
In Hong Kong? Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That should be ways. So what you should do then, you go to Chinese... just trying to find out what Chinese apps are available. Go to their website, download the APK file, put it in your phone, and then you have the Chinese store now. And don't get surprised, a lot of apps, a lot of paid apps in the US, you can find there for free. That does not necessarily mean illegal. It just, they kind of shape it for Chinese users.
Yeah.
It's either cheaper...
Oh, here's the APK. So listeners, if you go to DOUYIN.com and you hit on Android or I mentioned App Store, they have two different buttons, and then you can download the APK, and then I'm guessing you can put that file on your phone. Wow, that is quite a way.
And another advice for people in the US, if you're interested in Chinese website or social media and everything, you're gonna find out oftentimes it's blocked. You cannot use, for example, video calls and that sort of thing, or it's gonna be too slow. What you can do is download a VPN specifically for that purpose that gives you a Chinese IP from US. If you use that, everything should be much faster.
Yep. And there are some free VPNs that you can use without doing like a yearly commitment or anything like that. I've heard about these creatures, VPNs. Yes. So it's just that so much of the audience is not in China that I like to give them a little bit of how to find stuff. Because I imagine, I don't know, I think of podcasting as what do I do as a listener? If I hear something interesting, I want to go to the show notes and find it and watch it or listen to it or that kind of thing. So I imagine they'll want to see your videos. So, this is
I'd be happy, just look, tell me if it's funny.
Yeah, and I'll try to download this app and figure out how to use it, and who knows, maybe I'll actually put instructions.
A lot of videos also, my Chinese social media videos are often in Chinese though, just so you know.
That's fine. In addition to this, I have two others because I'm a crazy person, and one of them is on learning Chinese, and a fair number of people I talk to in those conversations are putting stuff on social media in Chinese, and a fair number of the, I thought I was going to actually connect with other people learning Chinese. And what's happened, similar to your project, is a lot of people who are already fluent are following me, which confuses the heck out of me, but I love that they're there. But it was a very different audience than I had intended. And they're always looking for more things in Chinese to help practice their higher level of Chinese. So that would be a good thing for them.
That's really interesting, yeah.
So totally different.
Yeah.
Like who you think you're going to talk to and who you end up talking to. Let's do a hypothetical. If you were still in Turkey, do you think you would have started to make these videos, these funny jiu-jitsu videos?
Well, it's very hard to say, first of all, if I would be doing jiu-jitsu at all, or because here's the thing. Many people in China, like as foreigners, they come to China is to find out, maybe purchase some new jobs or new lifestyles and so, that sort of thing. Now, when I came to China, I just wanted to have some overseas experience. I already have, even to this day, I have very good connections in Turkey. I would have had a very good life if I'm just specifically talking about economics.
Right.
I have very good connections. I have always had better opportunities than I had in China if I had to choose my old profession and like if I stayed in Turkey. I'm originally an industrial engineer, which is a very social engineering type. It's not necessarily with machines. We study machines, but we end up managing things.
Right.
And I invested a lot of time in business development, even in China. So that's what I would be doing. And I'm guessing think like social media thing is maybe a waste of time or something like that. I would just definitely be a corporate guy, working for money only, trying to, get how to say, objects. That would be my focus, I think. Right. Staying here and ignoring all these advantages I had, maybe I lost most of them now, was like, I mean, maybe a different person. It made a different Yunus come out and like totally, like, if you would tell me, man, Yunus, you're gonna be a martial arts guy who is teaching in China, I would laugh at you really bad, and I would make fun of you too. You know, that's like so unexpected. So unexpected.
It's one of the things I've been trying to tease out in this podcast is, what is it that changed us more? Is it the progression of the stuff that's happening online, or is it us changing countries and having different opportunities? And
I think that more, because the social media thing is the end result of what happened to me overall. First of all, China doesn't look like anything else around the world. Okay, you're coming from the West, man. Don't expect to find anything that you expected. Maya was expecting to see kung fu people everywhere, dragons flying in the sky, or that kind of stuff. And, you know, people eating bugs every day. Hey, what you eat for lunch? You know, some cockroaches, you know, at the evening, maybe some butterflies. That kind of thing. But what happened at the end it's a totally different world. Like, not even explainable, you know, because it was such out of my expectations. But then it exposes you. It makes you feel like you're suddenly in this place you don't know anything about, and you have to rediscover everything. When you start rediscovering things, you rediscover yourself as well. You discover your limitations. Totally different human interactions, human habits. The way, like the house you live in is so different. You know, I'm used to living in big homes. Sorry, you know, in Turkey we have big houses, interior design and everything. And suddenly you live in a totally different world. And now again, you restart your life in a way. And then I think that's one of the things. If you're kind of a person who would be interested in social media, maybe you're not free to pursue that. Maybe in the US, if you did that, or like maybe in another country, you start to do this, you already have a certain friends that are like, look at this guy trying to be famous, trying to be know-it-all, like, look at this wannabe, you know, like, you're gonna be pulled down because you're not raised in that certain environment, maybe, who knows. But now, you're totally developing a very different stuff.
Oh, like you have no idea.
You know?
It's so true. It's so true. And I've been trying to tease this out because I've met so many people who, when they move to a different country, they develop in ways they didn't expect.
Exactly.
And a different part of their personality comes out, different opportunities show up, and they go completely in a different direction.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. So, and this is one thing that I've been trying to tease out too, is you just, my facial expressions just went kind of blank because I was like, oh my God, you finally hit, like, it's taken me like 20 episodes to get here, but I think you finally hit on something like gigantic I've been trying to figure out. I think that the expats I'm talking to about this, that balance between online life and offline life, I feel like because expats have to keep recreating themselves when they change locations, that they're kind of better at balancing these things because they're so used to recreating and recalibrating and reinventing themselves that I feel like they're better at balancing it so they never really get as addicted as other people do or get kind of off kilter or just, you know? But I don't know if that's true. It's completely a theory.
I think it's true. It's just sometimes not everybody's capable of doing this. That's what I believe. Of
course, yeah.
Because some of the people, as you also know, when they come here, especially if they have a good paying job and everything, they isolate themselves from everything.
Sure.
They only interact with people who are like themselves. They live in locations that's surrounded by themselves again. And they don't even try to get out of the circle. They know they're here just for a few years. And they're already looking forward to it and making money meanwhile. I think these people don't really go that path too much.
Well, let's be completely honest. China is a very distinct culture. And there is a very real place for foreigners in China that locals and foreigners are kind of comfortable with.
Yes.
So it takes a lot of effort to break out of that.
I totally agree. And when I say that, I definitely don't judge anybody. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
That's how I came in.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't interested in integrating that much.
Yeah.
Especially like a country like China. No matter how well you integrate here. You speak the good language, you understand the culture, blah, blah, everything. You're totally living like a Chinese person. 100%. While you still look like a foreigner. So, We're not there yet. Exactly. Even Japan is not there yet. Japan has many Japanese people who looks like foreigners. They are beyond that. They already had 1 or 2 generations maybe. But there are even some joking, funny videos about it, right? Like they go to a restaurant, all these foreigners, there's one black guy, there's one white guy, and there's this Asian lady, and the waitress keeps talking to the Asian lady, and then the other guys are like, look, we're Japanese, you know, and they have to listen to me, like, I want to order this, and they're like, they want hamburgers? And, you know, that's like, it's so funny. And similar things happen to me in China as well. Sometimes I take my wife to somewhere else, and I know the place better than her, but they look at me and foreigner.
This happened in the U.S. We were subletting our apartment to a friend one summer, and our very, very white, older landlord was meeting her to approve the lease, and she's Asian American. She looks very Asian. She grew up in the U.S., born and raised in the U.S., and he said, you know, where are you from to her? And she answered, you know, the place she was from in California, and he said, no, but where are you really from? And she's like,
where are you from?
I'm from California. I grew up in Southern California.
But where are you really from?
Exactly. He really wanted to distinguish how she wasn't American, and she was very American. I'm like, I'm like, oh man, if I didn't need the money, I'd be like, never mind, we're leaving, we're never going to live here again.
From? Where's your grandmother from? Like, you see, you're Korean.
Yeah.
But then when we ask that question to you, you're probably like, what, you're Irish? Like, where you're like, what, Spanish?
So ridiculous.
What?
Yeah, and if I was her, I probably would have been like, where are you from? No, really, where are you from?
There's a funny video about that. I suggest you to check online in YouTube. Yeah. I'm sure you can find this. There's this lady, Asian lady, and there's white citizen, they're running together.
Yes,
and she starts making fun of her like being British and everything,
Oh, I'm so putting that in the show notes, listeners. You have to see that. It's really, really funny. Yeah, so my point is not just that people are inherently racist everywhere, but that there's very tribal
exactly
thinking in a lot of places.
So speaking of people who challenge our cultural stereotypes, I think it's time that we have a quick listen to Eva Yu, a Korean woman who has defied so many stereotypes as she works, lives, and bicycles around the world.
Hello everyone, I'm Eva Yu. I was a tech journalist in Israel, Silicon Valley, South Korea, and China for 5 years. And last year I left my job and I started a cycling journey from Shanghai to London, interviewing the tech entrepreneurs on the ancient Silk Road. Currently I'm writing a book about the cycling trip, and I plan to donate the proceeds from the book to Turkey. So if you want to get in touch with me, my email is evayoor@gmail.com. So it's EVAYOOARE@gmail.com. And my YouTube channel is Seek Road, which is SEEKROAD. And my website is seekroad.co. So it's not .com, it's .co. Thank you.
And one more quick note about Eva before we get back to Eunice's story. She was also a guest on the Virtual Expats show on the Geopats podcast. The podcast website is a bit under construction right now, so the best way to find her is go into the show notes, and I will have the link to her episode here for you as well. Let's get back to Eunice's Virtual Expat story.
If the internet went down tomorrow and didn't come back, what would your reaction be?
Well, I would get pissed, probably. Because I'm not trying to do my videos and everything. I use my phone as my life. That's why I always try to get the best model available if I can, because it's basically my life. I manage my everything there. I even do my office files there. Like if I have to write something, I can use my phone. The technology now is amazing. However, then again, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I can just go live in the academy at least and do something fun. I don't need it to live my life. Maybe to live my life efficiently, I understand, but not really, I can have fun. I can go on with my life without it as well. I think there's a good balance there.
And keeping in mind that we interview anybody that lives outside their home country or used to live outside their home country and kind of try to figure out if their changing place affects what they do online. What other questions should I ask people in the future?
Well, you can ask them if they want to try out jiu-jitsu. If they want to, they can come.
Eunice, stay focused, please. About this topic.
I think
I can ask them that as well. If they're in China,
I think the biggest thing for me, there are a lot of questions they ask, like, what do you think about the food, blah, blah, blah. The real key point here is the actual transition. You know, if they had the transition here, what did you expect and what really happened? You know, or like, how well do you think you have transitioned into this lifestyle? What did you give up on? Or after your transition has ended, what changes happened to you?
Okay,
because,
there's a lot of questions there.
Yes.
Which one do you want me to...
I mean, overall, I will leave it to you as mastery as well, right? But I mean, for example, let me give you why I believe this is an important topic.
Talking about transition.
If you, I would claim, of course not very strongly, but I would claim Chinese people are kind of often more passive to the West. And even if you look at the history, you can see a lot of times some conquerors coming in China and getting China-fied themselves in the long term. So a lot of people are like me too. They come over here, they just here for a year or two, and then they end up being, again, almost fully integrated. When I go back to, like we said at the beginning, when I go back to Turkey, I have so many habits, it's just changed beyond recognition. I mean, I feel weird when I go to Turkey in many aspects. Of course I'm Turkish, I love my country.
Sure.
I feel I represent my country, but then again, some of the things are not that Turkish anymore. So there's a huge transition if you go that way. And nobody's even trying, here's the funny thing, nobody's even trying to impose this on me. Here's the funny thing, I end up going this way. Now, there are people who don't do that. There are people who resist against that, willingly or unwillingly, and that sort of thing. So, if it's a person who never been here, I would ask them, what do you expect to find out there, if you ever go there? Or if they're not even planning to come over here, what do you think if you go there would happen to you? Or if they have been here, okay, you're a Westerner, what has changed in your life? You know, what kind of things you have gotten from China? Or if they have been back then, well, did you have a re-transition period when you go back to your country again?
That reverse culture shock is horrible.
It's crazy.
Worse than the initial culture shock.
Exactly.
Because at least there's a honeymoon period when you first go abroad, but when you go back home, that's just painful.
Because everybody talks about, do you like Chinese food? Yeah, I like it. Do you like hot pot? Yeah. But everybody talks about these stuff.
Sure. Yeah, but going back, what was the hardest thing to realize when you went back to Turkey?
Well, it's very hard to say. The basic human interactions is different. Just walking around talking to people is really different, you know.
How so?
Like this. Choose one. Well, you're trying to make a point by being circular sometimes, and I think I'm a direct person. A lot of Chinese people find me too direct. But then I go back to Turkey and I'm mentioning something and they don't get it. I'm like, you could make this, again, let's say this. You give me the coffee, and I love the coffee, but just this was in front of me, and I told
you're about to insult
coffee.
My coffee.
No. I told you I like black coffee. Sure. But let's say I like milky coffee instead, and I'll tell you, you know what? You could even put some milk in this. In Chinese language, this means this is lacking milk. It does not really mean you should put some milk in it. It means it's lacking milk. And without realizing, I do this sometimes when I go back to Turkey. You know what I mean? In Turkey, I'll say look, you know what? Next time, add this much milk. I like milky coffee, bro.
Yeah.
But if I say this to a Chinese person, it's an insult. You're like, you cannot do this, you have to put this much. I really didn't like this. Yeah. It's 2 steps ahead. Right. Instead, I would say, you know what? You can add some milk. And they get it. Oh, okay, this guy likes milky coffee. He kindly told me this now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, again, Chinese people think I'm too direct still, and I like to stay direct, but again, it affects you in a way.
See, and that's the thing, is that outside of China, people think Chinese people are very direct and very blunt. But
not really, no.
But once you know a little bit about the Chinese language and the vagueness of the language, it's like, oh no, if anything, it's very ambiguous.
Let me give you an example. Again, for Chinese word this time. You're waiting for your food, and you tell them, I'm really hungry, what is coming soon? Masha. It's like, it means on top of a horse. And something like immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
Well, that does not mean immediately, just so you know. It means you're gonna get it.
HSK says it means immediately.
Exactly. Yeah, here's the funny thing, right?
Yeah.
Again, literally means immediately, but it does not mean immediately.
Well, when you directly translate the characters, it means something different.
I want to tell you immediately.
Sure.
But it's going to take some time, and I can't really tell you when.
Sure.
It can be immediate in 2 minutes. It can be immediate in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so far, I've got for your question, to circle us back.
Yes.
How did your host country change you? When did you notice? When you went home or when you were living there?
Oh man.
I don't think that's what you said, but I don't think.
Oh, so many things. It's about lifestyle, the way I talk, the way I act. Because it's easy to say it's more than 10 years, but it's like 1/3 of my life.
Do you think that the in real life culture and the online culture from China have both changed you?
To be honest, I don't think online life changed me too much in China. It's more like daily interactions because I'm more active in social media. I sometimes express my own way. But of course, I get some slangs from there. I learn a lot about streetwise stuff from there, for sure. But it's the daily life more.
Right.
And I'm telling this as a person who's very active on social media.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, that sounds like a really good balance. That sounds like a really good balance. If the online stuff was changing you too much in comparison to the real life stuff, it would seem off balance.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think a lot of young people are getting it much more online, and they come to me with certain slangs and stuff. Sometimes I don't get it, or I get what you mean, but it just doesn't make sense in this particular environment. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Cringe.
So you mentioned that you don't want to be a discussing person anymore. You want to be a doing person.
Exactly.
What is the doing stuff you want to do online in the future?
Let's just creating more content. Creating more content that's not copy of others. My original content.
Right.
That would be it. Just trying out new stuff, failing a lot. I'm not scared of that a lot. Fail a lot, and keep trying again. Yeah. Find out what doesn't work, so I can do better thing that works. And that's how you come up with the original content as well, I think. And just getting more attention, positive or negative. Not attention is like, look at me, not that kind of look. But what I mean is getting connected with more people. Right. I would say more of that, yeah.
Are you on any Western outside of China social media
Well, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, but not really. I'm there.
Okay.
With the Instagram, please do. What happened with my Instagram, I had many more followers, even though I wasn't trying that hard. I tried hard for a period, and I came up to the 7,000 followers, but I realized again.
Wow.
I don't think it's very high, but it was in a short while. So I think it was good.
You have integrated into China more than you think. That's a lot of people.
But what happened is I unblocked them. I made them unfollow me. Most of them,
Why?
A lot of them, if they were not active enough. Because there are a lot of dead followers there, and then they don't really follow what you do.
You can do that?
Yeah, you can block and unblock them.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is they're not your follower anymore. And then I would like to just connect it because I'm thinking like this, man, look, I already don't spend that much time for foreign social media.
Right.
Let me have small amount of people that actually follow me.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because there are a lot of dodgy ways to get a lot of... I tried that, and at the end I realized that's dishonest.
You can buy followers. That's so bad.
Buying is really bad, but what you can do, I tried everything. You unfollow people, which at the end I realized this is dishonest.
It is.
The guy sees you and he's like, he follows you. And then at the end, if he is so easily connected with you, either you like to him, or another thing is he is not that into Instagram. Yeah. He just came in first time. Yeah. He just followed some guys and he doesn't use it anymore. I want to connect with some more real people, more organic maybe.
Exactly.
So I just have less of followers now. Same on Facebook.
How do they find you on
just
Instagram?
You check my name, Yunus Emre. He's my first and middle name. Actually, in Turkey, it's not first and middle name. It's my two first names. You can find me on Facebook as well. Just search for my full name because it's a page. I don't spend that much time on it. I just occasionally share it, but I'm there. I'm going to check it. I have some YouTube videos again, same way. I have some videos. Occasionally I upload some stuff there, but not full, not really.
We'll put all that in the show notes, folks, just in case you don't go through the Douyin download and stuff, although, hey, why not?
If you want to connect me, you can always use these. I check it. I just don't take it too, how to say, I'm not too aggressive on it. I don't share too much.
No, I get that. I mean, you're in China, and you do these things in China. I get that you're on the Chinese social media platforms.
But I will read it. If you write me something, I will read it, yeah.
Fair enough. Did you hear that? He wants to hear from you. Ha.
I love to.
Well, thank you so much, Eunice, for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much to our guest, Eunice, for sharing his virtual expat story with us. For more Geopats podcasts, including the other shows, the Bookish Expats, Changing Scripts, and all of the ones that are going to happen in 2020, go to stephfuccio.com. It's STEPHFUCCIO, or just search for Geopats, don't forget the S, in your podcast app. If you can't find us where you listen to podcasts, do let me know. I will make sure that we get there ASAP. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions, comments, or to volunteer to be a guest on the show. My handle is Steph Fuccio, literally everywhere online, and it's also my Gmail account. As promised, Damon Castillo's song, Sometime Guy, again, DamonCastillo.com, is where you can find the rest of his music.
I've been wasting all of my time standing at the back of your line, trying not to lose my mind, yeah, when all I'll ever be is your sometime guy. Well, I've been waiting for my moment, and I've been howling at the moon. I've been living with this torment, 'cause there's nothing else my heart can do. Well, I've been wasting all of my time standing at the back of your line, trying not to lose my mind, when all I'll ever be is your sometime guy, your sometime guy. Oh yeah, yeah, oh, your sometime guy. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I put my foot down like the man I am. You pull the string and make me dance. Oh, I can't believe the shape you got me in. All these thoughts could drive me mad. Well, I've been wasting all of my time standing at the back of your line and trying not to lose my mind, my mind. Well, all I'll ever be is your sometime guy, your sometime guy. Oh yeah,
At Pluralsight, they believe everyone should have the opportunity to create progress through technology. Pluralsight is a tech workforce development company that provides the solutions that high-performing engineering teams need to tackle today's biggest challenges. Whether you need to build the skills, individuals, and teams to tackle mission-critical projects, drive cloud transformation, or help software teams ship reliable, scalable, and secure code, you can harness the collective power of hindsight, foresight, and insight with Pluralsight. Check them out today at pluralsight.com/vision.
Membership fees apply after free trial. Cancel anytime.
You know what's wrong with health and fitness? You weaponize it against yourself. Why didn't you go to the gym today? You're so lazy. Why did you eat that? You have no self-control. Stop it. At Beachbody, we think training and caring for your body in a way that works best for you should be about loving yourself. Let us help you without all the judgment. Here's how. Go to beachbody.com to claim your free membership and start feeling great.